Hello everybody, welcome to the Old Gold and Black, the Wolves YouTube channel. I'm Tom Rouse. Thank you for joining me today. And just please, if you subscribe to the channel, can you just make sure that you put the bell on? I've just sort of read over the last couple of days that lots of people have not been getting all of the videos because you have to now put the bell on as well. It's quite ridiculous, really. Now, over the next week or so, I'm going to be going through my players for the season, or my player of the season. Back when I first started going to the Wolves, you used to get a little ticket at the back of your season ticket where you would write down the name of your player of the season and hand it into the nearest steward, and then somebody would count up all of those votes and Wolves would announce their player of the season on the last game of the season. It's slightly different now. You can do it online, and I think you just have to have a support number to be able to log on and do that. So I thought that I'd go through various different ways of looking at the player of the season. So the first thing I've looked at is the statistics. So that's what today's video is going to be about, and giving you some options as to who you should vote for, judging on the statistics. So I've used the website whoscored.com to get these statistics. I haven't counted up all the passes and stuff myself. And quite surprisingly, by average rating, Wolves' best player this season has been John Ruddy. Now, of course, this is because Ruddy played one game in the Premier League against Cardiff and kept a clean sheet. So he's got an average rating of 7.19, which is the highest of all the Wolves players this season. But of course, we're not going to consider him as being Wolves' best player this season. Although he did have a couple of vital appearances in the FA Cup, we can't really give him player of the season, unfortunately. So statistically, Willy Boly has been our best player this season. He's got an average rating of 7.17. He's played 32 times, 4 goals. He's won 3.9 aerial duels per game this season, and an 81.3% successful passing rate. He's played really, really well this season. I think he's been calm at the back. But a blot on his copybook is that he has picked up Wolves' only red card so far this season, which was against Manchester City in that game back in January, which ultimately cost Wolves that game. Wolves' second best performer this year has been Matt Doherty with an average rating of 7.12. He's played 31 times with 3 substitute appearances. He's picked up 3 goals. This is just in the Premier League, by the way. 3 goals in the Premier League, 4 assists. But of course, his massive contribution to the season was in the FA Cup with the goals against Shrewsbury and in the semi-final as well. He's got a passing success rate of 72.3, which is a considerable drop-off from Willy Boly. But if you think about the passes that he's making, the ones into the box, which are quite often not successful. And he's won 4.1 aerial duels per game, which surprised me when I first saw it because, of course, it's much higher than Willy Boly's. But if you think about Patricio passing him that ball every game out onto the wing, it's often to his head, and the passes as well from Neves are quite often to his head as well, so they probably count towards aerial duels won. So Doherty had a very shaky start to the season. I remember him struggling against Theo Walcott in the first game of the season, and then in the first away game against Leicester, he had a shocker, scored an own goal, and just looked at completely out of his depth and got flattened by Jamie Vardy in the end and had to be taken off in that game. But since then, he really came into his own around about November, Christmas time, started being a really, really important part of the team, and had a couple of really good strong performances after that. However, his form has dropped off a little bit recently, and I think that may lead to other people coming into the frame for player of the season. But considering that he was in the top 3 last year, he won it back in 2016, I think it was. He's been really, really good, and he's got better with age, and I hope that he continues to improve next season. So the next best player is Raul Jimenez with 7.11 rating, 32 appearances, 2 as substitutes, 12 goals and 7 assists. So he's been involved in 19 goals this season. He's had almost 3 shots a game, 2.9 shots per game, 73% passing success rate and 2.1 aerial duels won. But that doesn't really paint the whole picture. Jimenez has been, particularly since November, he's been the focal point of the team. Without Jimenez, we haven't had... When he's been taken out of the team, it's completely obvious that we rely on him very, very heavily. And I think these statistics don't show fully how important he has been. And then 4th place, so just missing out on the top 3, because of course Wolves will only pick 3. So judging by this, it should be Willy Boly, Matt Doherty, Raul Jimenez. And fourth place is João Moutinho with an average rating of 7.05. He's made 31 appearances and 3 substitute appearances, only scoring 1 goal against Manchester United, but has chipped in with 8 assists, particularly lots from set pieces, from his corners and free kicks that he's provided, and an 85.1 passing success rate, which is the best in the Wolves team. No surprise there. And his aerial duels, barely worth mentioning, 0.6 aerial duels won per game, which is not surprising really. But what's I think impressed me is that he's only picked up 3 yellow cards in the Premier League, which for a player in his position and the amount of tackling that he does, which there aren't any, I can't find the statistics on that. And I hope that, I think the only criticism would be that he could have contributed a few more goals this season, particularly in that further advanced position that he's been in for the second half of the season. So there you have it, Wolves' top 4 statistically best players this season. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the video, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you've got to put the bell on. I must emphasise that you simply have to put the bell on. But anyway, let me know your thoughts statistically. Who do you think has been the best player? And tomorrow I'm going to talk about, from my heart, who I think has been the best players for Wolves this season. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on the video and subscribe, etc. Bell on. Yeah, bye.